a half an hour into their first game here in this best of the 3 series. So at the very least, wanted to jump into this one. Now, I will say Znui, I believe, is casting this as well. So twitch.tv/Znui, Z-N-O-O-W-Y, I believe it is. So if anything, we may finish this one out, but you can head on over there to finish the rest of the series. Because I know that we had plans to cover the top side of the bracket. So, but anyways, again, for now, rather than just doing nothing, figured we cast this one. Anyways, what do we got here? I kind of rambling
Monkey
on.
King?
Monkey King, that's true, yes.
Oh man, I'm so glad to see this hero. I mean, I love this hero, and then it got like slightly nerfed, and we never ever saw it. I'm really glad to see Mickey actually sort of bringing it back, and what a player to play an amazing hero, honestly, Monkey King. And I like his item build actually already. Goes for the Hellflower, a key item pickup actually for Monkey King in general, because he really does suffer with mana issues, and particularly after the draft as well.
Yeah.
So after the nerf. Obviously, his mana is increased in terms of his Heavenly Vault and his dash, and particularly good against obviously Moon Queen as well. I mean, if they can really block him down with the Doctor Repulsor and the Hellflower from Monkey King, they can burst down this Moon Queen very, very quickly. We saw in the last game with Moon Queen, really not all that much HP. Actually, 2,000 HP, not that much, and with the Hellflower obviously lasting 4.5 seconds now, they can easily burst him down in time. So expect that to come out from Mickey.
Yeah, no, this is definitely turning out to be a very close game for the looks of it. But yeah, Moon Queen, no doubt. Imba Boy doesn't have the Cersei effect, of course, but still, Moon Queen by herself, obviously, very, very deadly, especially with this much farm. So Imba Boy doing his best. You did talk about Pew tagged up as Reason now, part of the team, their new 5th, apparently, going into Cycle number 1 here, and it seems like he's actually been doing pretty good himself. Portal Key has a Codex here. Not sure what level the Codex is. We'll have to wait till he comes out of a creep. To see what it is, but obviously, at least level 1. Who knows if he's been level up? Probably level 1, to be honest. Looking at his GPM and whatnot. So, you see a bunch of stats coming out here from Quincy as we did jump into this series. They have a head-to-head matchup. They've matched up 11 times, and Sync has come out 63% of the time. So I think that would be what, like 7 out of the 11 times compared to the 4 for Reason Gaming. Yeah, so 7 and 4 in favor of Sync Esports right there. But yeah, you got a token of life currently on Dr. Repulsor, so kind of getting a grasp of what's ultimately happening here. Token of life has, what, 140 remaining on it, so will they make a move within? Doesn't look like they're shaping up, at least just yet, to really go aggressive here. But
I mean, I know it sounds very, very strange, like obviously with what I'm about to say, but I actually think Hellborn actually have the better late game. Although they are going against a Moon Queen, if you actually think about it, obviously they've got the Swiftblade, Monkey King, and Doctor Repulsor, all great late game heroes. But at the same time, they've got the Tempest as well. I mean, if they can pick up, like, say, a Shrunken Head, a Portal Key, which he's already got, as well as a Null Stone and Restoration Stone, there's nothing that can really stop him. And when it gets into I'm talking about super late game, and I think actually Hellborn could just wait with this and play it late. Yeah, they've got the token on Doctor Repulsor, but they don't need to use that if they don't feel sort of ready to use it. If you think about it, I mean, like Pharaoh, Rhapsody, Parasite, and Tundra, they do all sort of fall off when it gets to sort of the 40-50 minute. Whereas for Hellborn, all 4 of those heroes can really scale quite well. So. Expect Zinc to sort of play this safe and slow, to say the least.
Once again, to recap here exactly what this match is, I know we kind of just jumped into it all of a sudden, but this is the first game in a best of the 3 here for the winner bracket semifinals, round of 4, whatever you want to call it. I got the brackets on the screen, so it gives you a good visual of what we're dealing with. So the winner of this will be going to the winner bracket finals. That guarantees them a top 3 finish, and once again, you're looking at some good prize, but at the very least, $3,700 at least for a top 3, of course, all the way up to $8,136 to be exact for first place. So a lot of good money on the line here, and obviously both these teams wanted to keep advancing on here in that winner bracket stage between Sync and Reason Gaming. But yeah, this is definitely one of those matchups, though. Nowadays, at least, we kind of expect it to be a very good one. It has that potential, at least, and most certainly here in game number 1, of course, we are getting that. So Mickey did reconnect here and went in to see just a quick adjustment, and I'm sure we'll get that ready. And good to come back in. But Monkey King, I think it's safe to say, probably going to be looking to get that Shrunken Head here. The gold he's pulling up,
Yeah, because I mean, once he gets to strong ahead, I mean, the only thing that can really lock him down is of the Pharaoh Wall and the Tundra ultimate. But at the same time, I mean, there's so many other heroes they want to sort of use those ultimates for, like the Swiftblade, like the Doctor Repulsor, and like I said, I mean, for Hellborn, there's so many like heroes that are honestly going to be looking very, very scary when it gets into the late game. And it wouldn't surprise me if Legion actually are the ones trying to, push or trying something to happen, even though they have the Moon Queen. At the same time, though, I think Legion, for their opening, they need to actually try and find a pick-off before they push, because they don't actually have a lot of pushing potential in their lineup. They've obviously got the Parasite and sort of like the Tundra, not a lot of push compared to, say, the Hellborn with their Tempest. So I think for them to really take map objectives, they need to use the Parasite Tundra combination in the Shiver for really to find pick-offs and then maybe push high ground or take on goal.
Yeah, how about that? That's kind of just hitting me. They have that combination. Usually, if anything, you'd expect to see it on Sync, but nope, sure enough, on the side of Recent Gaming over here. Going that Parasite Tundra combo. Remember, Parasite was nerfed this last patch. Got that slight nerf you talked about. Yeah, it's good. It's significant, but it's not like, oh, we're going to stop seeing the hero by any means. Still very, very powerful, of course. Bottom lane, they're looking for an attempt here. They're going to wait to see if Swiftblade pushes up, but nope. Something made Casey go, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run back to base right here, because that's a gank incoming, and he would be correct, as you saw. So, going to be fine. Token of Life is going to be wearing off here in 30 seconds now, so most certainly not going to make use of that as we kind of expected. In fact, he just drops it on the ground. He's just like, you know what, I don't even want this anymore. I'm just going to let you die on your own. Picks up the TP, and back to farm we go in the end. Shrunken Head is officially finished on Monkey King here, so, of course, the big item pickup there for him now. And again, I kind of wonder if where they're at as far as their mindset goes of what they're trying to make happen now. 34 minutes in. The gold lead is still very slightly ahead for them, but the experience lead, 10,000 experience lead in their favor for the time being. And Casey just continue to clean up. I mean, definitely kind of that tri-carry setup here by the Hellborn side with the Tempest ultimate to do work on top of it. This is a very scary Hellborn lineup, even though they're going up against that Moon Queen. You're right, so that's something to reckon with as this game progresses. Where, yeah, usually you'd be leaning towards a very farmed Moon Queen as the game goes to the later game stage, but I don't know, man. I really think you can safely argue that this Hellborn team can do just fine with the way it's going here, so.
Exactly. I mean, at the same time, the Legion, I mean, yeah, I mean, Moon Queen's getting 600 GPM, he's farming out of his brains, but at the same time, he's sort of soaking up a lot of the farm, and as a result, I mean, there's no farm left for the Legion, and even if there was farm left, I mean, do you really want to put a lot of farm on, say, Tundra or Pharaoh? Because, they, like I said before, they scale very, very badly in the sense that, you know, they have good mid games, but when it gets into the late game, they really don't offer that much. And at the same time, I'd really like to see Legion try and make something happen, because they should not just sort of sit back and just try and be complacent. Because if they're complacent, like we said before, Hellborn do have the potential to take it late as well, and arguably have the better late game here compared to Legion as well.
So it does look like the Last of Us Willowkeeper is in Game 3. They just got things started. So again, we'll see in this game. They'll finish this one out. I think it's safe to say that's probably what people want. But we'll jump into that other series, though, once this one finishes up and into the Game 3. So we're having a lot of jumping around here to start things off here for Hanshi Season 3. But I think it's safe to say, kind of expect that too. I know in the past, we've kind of had breaks here and there, but we're going to do our best to get as much coverage as possible. I think that's just good for all parties. And so if we happen to have the ability, well, we have the ability to obviously jump into games on the fly, so might as well take advantage of that if the time comes. So we're doing our best.
It's good to, I'm saying it's good to obviously check out a lot of games as well. Just trying to understand. Obviously, we haven't seen the top teams play for a couple of weeks, so it's good to just try and get an idea of where they're at in terms of sort of rosters and sort of play style as well.
Yeah.
So it's good to jump in as many games as possible.
Indeed, indeed. Moon Queen continuing to farm like crazy. 611 gold per minute for Imbaboy here. Is going to have a double stack Ancient to work with in the meantime. And so that GPM will probably even slightly go even further up on top of it. Whoa! Bottom lane, Insania gets picked off. So really just Glacius getting picked off by a flying Parasite. Not really the biggest deal there, but still a gank. So well played by Pew, playing the Parasite. Top lane, Doctor is pushing up, but going to start falling back in the meantime, and that'll be that. Pew's Parasite is getting critical levels. A hero averages those stats, 300 gold per minute, 4-1 around this level of XPM, right on. So,
talking of Pew, actually, he's picked up the what's it called? The Storm Spirit, an absolute perfect item in terms of this case, because we talked about how in this sort of strategy, they're running an all-in sort of Moon Queen strategy, trying to focus as much as possible in terms of farm and just hoping he's going to carry them. So putting all the eggs in one basket, I mean, and with the burst potential that Hellborn do have with the Hellflowers, as well as obviously the Portal Key Tempest, I mean, they need some kind of defensive capabilities here for the Moon Queen. So picking up the Swarm Spirit, particularly as he's got a Portal Key as well, should be able to give enough survivability for Imberboy. So I really do love the Swarm Spirit pickup. I mean, he's got level 3 Codex on him.
Yeah.
He's doing like 600 damage, and that's perfectly fine enough to sort of get kills with the Shiver. We saw him just in the bottom lane, how he picked off Insania as well, so he's doing fine.
Yeah, the level 3 Codex, the Storm Speed as you talked about, so yeah, definitely a very, very quality game for him, no doubt, and for the success of the team. But obviously we've jumped into a point of this game. I mean, overall, you do look at it's only 11-5 hero kills now coming up to 38 minutes, and this is rare nowadays especially. I mean, yes, you go back to Hunter Season 1, you know, the TDMs and complexities and whatnot, early state greens. Yeah, we have these very, very passive games. Hell, watching the Haunter history that we had on throughout this whole week definitely brought that back to an extent. I mean, sure, there were its own entertaining matches, and all the matches were good in the end, but there were a lot of those, not a whole lot of kill happening games for a good chunk of them. So
the worst was when you saw like Keeper Tempest every single game. I remember that was brought back some memories. Like having Ophelia and Keeper on the same game, that was just very, very long.
Yeah. So, 38.5 minutes in right here between these two teams. Again, it's still 11-5 hero kills. Looking for opportunities here. Both sides are, at least the Legion side especially, a recent game is really trying to set something up on it. But again, Kazu's kind of been down here, but he's playing this so passive at this bottom lane. Zlapt is back on Thames. That's a good point to bring up. And yeah, apparently 100% win percentage on that hero. Wow. Again, we saw him earlier against Dawn do very well with him once again. So again, not too surprised, but it's Tempest. We didn't see a whole lot of Tempest later on Carnage. We were talking about that in the qualifiers. Zlap doesn't care about that though.
Yeah, and it's just because depending on how well the laning players can do with Tempest. I mean, in the last qualifiers, like if you pick up the Tempest, like you can lose the game in the first sort of 10 minutes, and the Tempest isn't often too much because he's busy farming. And actually, if you're going to Legion, they're actually taking Congra, a great play actually, because they've got great vision with the Shiver and a ward here placed by Adra. And I think they're going to get it without Hellborn even knowing. So yeah,
that's of course, it goes without saying, a big Conquer kill. That is the second Conquer kill. I was very curious. I mean, at this point in the game, probably wouldn't have been a third Conquer kill, but yeah, just in case. But so with us jumping in late, but yeah, it is the second Conquer kill. So token on Moon Queen. And here comes the push in the middle lane, so finally some action definitely going to be brewing here. Monkey King forced TP back, of course, as he does. So Moon Queen in the front lines, they're going to look to initiate with Dr. Pulse. There's a Tundra Avalanche coming out. Moon Queen holding his ground. In the meantime, Similar Rage not going to be, was used actually. He has a token, remember. He is not going to use his Shrunken, though. He is Hellflowered, but not enough to take him out in the end. So both teams not going all out with that said. But token is not used, and he's going to just pick up some health potions here and kind of heal on up, so that works out for Reason Gaming in the end, keeping them in their base for the time being.
Yeah, definitely. The only problem is that obviously Shrunken had just used on Tempest as well, and so I mean, if Pharaoh is involved with the Hellflower inside of Tempest ultimate, that's going to be a big deal. I don't know if Legion want to try and capitalize on this, but it looks like they're just, happy to just go back and farm. Maybe just sort of try and get health back on Moon Queen and then try and take a team fight. But I think they should definitely try and capitalize on this, because I don't think they can really take this late unless they try and get a few pickups before they push, which I think is probably the best play to make right now. They've got the Parasite Tundra combination. They should try and use that in terms of getting a kill and then pushing, because they're going to have a little bit of a hard time just pushing and sieging the base 5-on-5 because of that lack of that team that push potential.
Yeah, look at Monkey King, man, just going crazy here, kind of pushing the bottom lane as Mickey. Another 4,200 gold saved up. Buyback situation, he is down to 1. He's the only one that's used a buyback so far, so again, worth noting there. Dr. Pulsar goes and gets the real target once again. Moonkin, will she use any cooldowns? She's getting locked down. The Hellfire doing work, and yes, she goes down. Token alive, going to bring her back up, but that is a one battle right there for Sync. I mean, Reason did not even do anything.
They can't do anything. They don't have any push. Like, the only way they can take this tower is if they just right-click it with terms of Moon Queen, and when that happens, their position is completely compromised. And as a result, I mean, they lost token for no reason, honestly. And I mean, the tower, the tier 3 is most likely going to be dropping, but I mean, now they're fighting 5v5 without token. I don't know if they'll be able to take this.
There we go. The quick Shuckadad's coming out. He tried to catch him before, but he did not, and that could cost him in the end. Swift Blade, he's getting caught out. Swift Slash is going to be coming out right there, jumping around left and right. Auto attacks from Moonqueen will finish out Swift Blade, but at one cost. Protect him. Melted at the last second for Matcho. It saves the day for Imboboy. Here comes Tundra. Avalanche going to be applied to Tempest right there. He has his ultimate. Doesn't matter though, because he dies so damn quickly to the onslaught of those Moonqueen auto attacks. And when it's all said and done, what was that, a 2-for-1 maybe? I mean, there is a buyback on Zlapt. He has his ultimate still, so wants to be that threat, and that will be that. All right.
Yeah. And one thing to know, actually, was incredible play coming from Pew. His patience there. He was waiting for the Tempest ultimate. Instead, obviously, Tempest died instead. But if he jumped in, tried to burst out, and then slapped caught all 5, which is definitely a possibility with Slap's Tempest instead. But Pew playing it safe and playing it patient, just in case to stop Tempest ultimate. So good play coming from Pew. And as a result, I mean, there was not much they could do. I mean, Moonqueen, although she's farmed and Hellborn of there's a lot of carry potential. This 600 GPM Moonqueen is definitely doing enough to sort of take them and win the team fights.
Well, look at what he just got right there. 3,100 life now. He picks up another Alex of the Malphite, going to be going to full Behemoth's Heart. And, I mean, I personally, first reaction, I like it. I mean, we saw that last fight. He just needs to live simply through these Hellflowers and whatnot, and that helps with that, so.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue is the damage. Do they have the physical damage to really cut through these Shrunken Heads? I mean, in that team fight, they definitely did, but when it gets into the late game, I mean, when Hellborn's not picking up their items, is this Behemoth going to really help them in terms of winning these team fights? I mean, it's definitely good to sort of survive the burst, and I definitely agree with you, but actually middle lane...
They're going to get a jump right here to Dr. Pulsar. This could be the key target that they're going for. Yes, it is! Dr. Pulsar gets bursted down. He does have buyback. But if anything, forcing a buyback at this point, very, very worth it. So good collapse. They didn't use a whole lot in the end either. In the big picture, I mean, the short cooldowns, Parasite's face cycle, already 15 seconds left. Tundra Avalanche, 50 seconds left. So they're going to go for the melee racks. I can guarantee you, though, Dr. Pulsar will be buying back if it needs be. There's the invulnerability. And probably shortly after that, so he's going to be going for that, perhaps. Moonqueen, the real Moonqueen coming up now. And look at that damage going out. The Glaives bouncing around. Here we go. The buyback happens. Looking to jump in. Moonqueen, she's in trouble once again. Is she taking enough? Nice Storm Spirit coming out. Trying to save the... No, the tap is all the way going to cancel that, though. And down goes Moonqueen. Swift Slash is bouncing around. Down goes Rhapsody. Parasite's going to be picked off. They did kick Glacius, but obviously the Hellborn team could care less about that. Pharaoh, in the meantime, trying to get away. But the damage has been done. They are not able to put melee racks. And now here comes a response from Sync.
Yeah, and this is the point. I mean, Hellborn, they've got like 4 carries almost, or 4 cores, and once Moonqueen does drop off, I mean the whole team fight for Legion is just completely negligible. I mean, Parasite does nothing, Tana does nothing, Pharaoh does nothing. They actually are backdooring in the middle lane. They're going to get the middle racks.
Oh my God, is he going to get it? He's just trying. Look at Monkey King. It's like, fight me, fight me. He's not going to. Tundra, big plays from Probosco there. He's actually, I was going to say, he can maybe fight for himself. He does have his ultimate. It's going to go, okay, there's the Avalanche. She's going to try to run with it, but everything comes out. He's going to go for the turn kill. Piercing shards, no. He portal keys away. Going to be fine unless Swiftblade chases him down, and that's very likely at this rate. Cold Shoulder, Probus delaying as much as possible. So honestly, this is honestly a win in the end, even if he does die, as he does. He just delayed them so much, though.
Like, he got the Rax as well as stopped the potential Rax kill for Hellborn as well. I mean, Legion keep their Rax. Yeah, they lose Tundra, but they get their Rax of their own. And I mean, yeah, they are down 17,000 experience, but the gold lead is probably the main thing that what matters here. I mean, they're still in potential to sort of win these team fights as long as they can keep Moonqueen alive and as long as she can do as much damage as possible. I think Legion can still win these team fights.
Yeah. Yeah, big plays right there. So pushing that melee racks middle. Restoration Stone, never mind. I think he was kind of gauging where he's at. So he's not going to finish it just yet. Wants to save it for that final buyback of his as well. If Sync wins this, Imboboy have the highest GPM of the loss. So we'll have the highest. Oh, okay. I had to double read that one. So yes, he's farming very well, but the potential is there to lose, most certainly. But it's still continuing to be a very even game. What were you about to say, though?
No, I was just saying that the Courier, like, it's good scouting character from Insania, and I don't see enough of people do this. Look, they've bought 2 Couriers, actually, and I really do like the idea because in effect, like the courier is kind of like a mobile ward. I mean, yeah, it's risky like, if it dies, but I mean, in this later stage of the game, I mean, yeah, you give away what 1,000 gold, maybe like 500, 800 gold,
Yeah.
and for just knowing where the enemy team is, I really do like the idea coming out from Insania, and it's kind of revolutionary. I don't think we've seen this before, but it can really work. Just knowing exactly where the enemy team is, particularly in this late stage of the game, can just sort of secure you. The security of you. They're not ganking. They're in the enemy. They're in their own woods farming. So, really do like the play coming out from Insania right there.
Another level of Codex just given to, or bought by Pew even. I'm playing the Parasite. I believe that's level 4 now. Again, he's in a creep currently, so can't check it just yet. But upgrading that Codex eventually to level 5 if it's not that just yet, and has that full burst potential. Moon Queen, she has both of her buybacks still, so Imba Boy obviously keeping that in mind. Actually, the Malphite alone already given him plenty. Doesn't necessarily need a full Behemoth's Heart, although it's a nice bonus, of course. But buyback is also very important, so it's understandable. Saving at least for the 1 at this time. So making sure to have that. We'll probably need at least 4,000 plus to feel comfortable finishing the Behemoth's Heart. With that said, bottom lane, Monkey King. He buys a Savage Mace, by the way, so a lot of extra damage going to be coming out from him. He needs to be careful. Oh, man, that was close. Parasite almost got in range to make something happen right there, but Monkey King had fallen back just before. So Parasite Tundra combination, only a 1-2 record. That is interesting. I will say, I mean, that combo was really known. That was the previous DreamHack where Sync Esports at the time was really known for running it, going into it, and had some good success. So it's been a while since we've seen that combo really be a strong one.
I mean, but back in that time, they did have Probusk on the Zinc.
True.
Probusk is playing the Tundra now for reasons. So.
That is fair. It's a fair point. So, and obviously, again, making the big plays earlier with that middle.
Look at this
lane presence that he had. What's that?
Hellborn have their own Shiver. They've got 2 Shivers. They've got Courier up in the top lane and 1 going in the bottom lane now as well. Insania sort of microing both, using their own sort of Shiver. And I do like the potential of play, because look, he's checking the Hellborn woods now to see where they are, and this is going to obviously be quite an alarming fact, because they're not farming their own woods. They must be in the middle lane somewhere. So I really do like the innovation coming out from Insania. I said it once before, and I say it again. I just really do like the sort of innovation that these players are sort of picking up here, and it's only Cycle 1 as well. Even more innovation to come as well.
Exactly, only the first day of Cycle 1. It's really worth noting there. So, yeah, plenty of season ahead of us, and again, it's so cool that we're finally here, and it definitely is paying off already. And again, still many more matches to come. So again, still sitting in this one here. Like I said, this is Game 1, Reza versus Sync. We'll finish off this game here and then jump into our other series. Hopefully, this one doesn't go on forever. I mean, yes and no. If it does go on forever, then that means it'll probably be a pretty epic finish in the end. So, but either way, going to continue to have good old competitive heroes and everything coming at you. There are community caches, like I said as well. I'm doing my best to keep you guys informed of other matches that are being covered. As well. So like I said, twitch.tv/Nui, they are also covering this series, so if we do go to the other one, then you can head on over there if you would like to continue to watch this one. But with that said, you see Kongor's up, and this is the 3rd Kongor kill now guaranteed, so Bananas, of course, going to be dropping on top of it. You talked about the Wing Couriers being used right here. Again, just simply using that gold invested into Vision to kind of scout around their own Shiver, as you put it. Tundra picks up that double damage rune in his bottle. The gold efficiency continues to be very, very close. Probably the closest we've honestly seen it.
Definitely.
Since we've been getting those stats here.
Middle lane.
They're going to... yep. Just a little too quick. These players are so quick to react right here.
And I think Legion are playing the correct strategy, because we saw before, when they try to go as 5 mid and just try and siege the base, it just didn't work. They don't have the pushing potential like we talked about before. But one thing they do have is the ganking potential, and even though it's in the late game and they're not getting a lot of kills, they still have the potential to get this one pickup, and one pickup in the late stages of the game now, they can easily result that into a Rax kill. So I just like them going for the pushes when they see fit, and taking Kongor when they have the advantage, like the double damage. So that's going to be a Kongor kill. The token picks up on Moon Queen again, and I think this time they're going to try and push as 5 because they have that advantage.
Yeah, you see making their way to the bottom lane, Moon Queen. Double damage ring going to be wearing off right here. Only has a couple more seconds, so won't be able to take advantage of that for this push necessarily. But the token of life just fine. I wonder if he's going to buy that Behemoth's Heart going into this. I mean, again, he has enough for that on top of... Oh, what am I saying? He has a token in place. So,
yeah,
that wouldn't make any sense. So,
Yeah, and we saw in the last series that I think having that token, particularly when you're sieging a base, is better than any other item you can have. So.
Yeah. So going in right here, you do see the hold from Sync Esports. Again, they were able to do it lastly in the end due to a backdoor from Probusk. Eventually got the melee racks like they were going for, but jeez, 500 creep kills. Yeah, what is that? 495. The 10th time since we've been recording stats there. So yeah, it does not happen too often, but it's a mix of the game needs to go long enough / you just need to farm, and that's what Imba does. He's up there as one of the better carry players that we know nowadays, of course, in that role. So I believe, okay, no, he sold it again. One of the cases just kind of feeling it out, how much gold he has. Okay, Monkey King goes to Brutalizer. He bought an Ice Brand. He's maybe thinking of Frost of Skull, but then he's like, I'm going to go the Brutalizer, even more lockdown potential here. That's a hard-hitting Monkey King, man. That is ridiculous.
I mean, look at that, man. It's so cool to see Monkey King. I would have loved to have seen this game from the start, because I think Monkey King would have had a big impact. He's at 500 GPM. Look at his farm. And, I mean, he still has the potential to be good in the early game as well, yet still have that potential in the late game as well. So, really cool to see him being picked up. And like we said before, I mean, there's a lot of innovation and a lot of variety in terms of hero picks as well. So, really cool to see, especially it's only the first day, like you said before, in Season 1, or Season 3 of Cycle 1, sorry.
Yeah, the post-haste on Moon Queen here, so that's that mobile aspect. I'm sure Parasite at very least going to also be getting a pair of his own when he can. There's a jump, though. They're going to be going to Swiftblade. He got the spin off, though, just before. Turn in the meantime. Take a response. Look at Moon Queen, though, pounding in the auto attacks. Swiftblade is able to survive in the end, however. And so far, that's all that will happen now. So they jump from Recent Gaming. Quick reaction in the spin of Swiftblade, and ultimately fine in the end. As Moon Queen, though, just going to keep the pressure up. So they're Recent Gaming pretty content on just simply sitting here at this bottom lane throughout it, and going to use up the whole token life. Yeah.
Just chip damage. I mean, like, they don't have great push, so they can't just take down the tower. But I mean, any little bit of damage is good enough to sort of slowly push them in. And at the same time, obviously, I mean, I said it before, but I think Zinc are honestly one of the best teams in terms of defending their base. They really know exactly what to do. They're so patient as well, not trying to blow it or jumping onto the enemy team. They try and take as much advantage as they can for this choke point, as well as the uphill feature as well. So I mean, if there's one team to sort of defend this, it's going to be Zinc.
Yeah. There we go. Moon Queen, level 25, of course. So maxed out now. That experience per minute going to start going down as a result, as it does. You see Monkey King, level 24. Dr. Pulsar, 23. Swiftblade, 22. So a lot of follow-up there from the opposition in terms of what they got going for them. So Monkey King, another 4,000 gold saved up. And we're getting to that point. We're going to start seeing, like, puzzle box couriers and stuff. I have a feeling. I mean, it's just going to start happening because you got to spend the gold somewhere. Obviously, buybacks is priority, of course.
He'd sell the helm for at least maybe, say, a Behemoth Heart before he does that, though. There's no need to keep the Hellblood Legion into the late game.
That's fair. It's just more of a. It just feels like one of those kind of games, especially with already the couriers that have been bought, the 2 extra couriers that they have. So, but I mean, I like it. They really are playing kind of sentries here. One on the right side, one on the left side, just in case Shiver tries to sneak in here. They're not going to let it. So very good use of mechanics there, obviously, and just preparing. So I mean, where's the token at? What are we? 50 seconds. We got one more creep wave basically. Is Recent Gaming going to actually go for try to really push in here? Or is this just simply
like a Shiver over as well on the bottom lane?
Trying.
Like get killed.
Oh boy, they're trying. Tundra. What was that? That was an illusion. Just avalanche and illusion, I think. Oh, that's unfortunate. Moon Queen going in, though. They say, screw it. He has token alive. It's going to be wearing off right here. He knows it. So he's trying to kill himself in the end, but doesn't want to get the worst position, though. Swiftblade, he's dropping half flat. Moon Queen's like, okay, that's not going to work. Just simply fall back. Don't risk dying without it.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. Zinc are so good at defending their base. I mean, they fought off against a 6v5 potentially and a token Moon Queen, and yet they still have their racks. There wasn't even a team fight, and that's what I mean. Just Zinc are so good at really defending their base. I mean, it's so hard for Legion to really push in.
Yeah, this is quite the hold effort by Sync Esports, and again, they continue to be overall both in stats lead. I mean, again, experience a little bit, take that for what you will, especially since when you have a hero that's maxed out, it stops gaining for advantage for them. So, but the gold, it's still 6,000 gold in favor of the Hellborn team. Not the most, but again, still in their favor. Assassin Shroud, just picked up by Moon Queen. So
did she have the Axe of the Malfire?
She did.
So she sold
You're
that for
right.
half price.
She sold that for half price. Says, you know what? We need more damage. I think that's what that comes down to. She realized there. They just need more damage. So we'll eventually get that into Kenjiro, but once again, wants at least enough for one buyback here.
And at the same time, obviously it does help in terms of the courier.
There's one courier down.
And I mean, it's a kind of it's good in the sense that obviously that they take down the courier because obviously it gets the gold, but at the same time it's in the late game, and although it's annoying, but courier looking top lane might be falling as well. No, it should be fine. It's just quite in a sense it is a balance in sort of that feature because at the same time it's like pushing Insano to have like no items. He always got his steam boots, and obviously it gives a reward for Legion. Actually,
oh, this is a big pick chance. Tundra quickly falls. The Swift Slash is helping with that. Of course, Monkey King also doing his Monkey King thing. The Legion team, the rest of them going to fall back, so not the worst case in the world, but still, Tundra is dead now for 70 seconds counting. He does have a buyback, but we'll see if Sync now makes a move themselves. I mean, you know, you got to think it's one of the we're getting close to that hour mark now. I guess it's going to be another case of wait for another Kongor in the end, perhaps. But by the way, you can stack bananas, so he does still have bananas on Tundra. So if that comes to it, but it's well, you know, we jumped into this game expecting it to be a good series, and sure enough, this game one is turning out to be just that, a pretty damn go-on between these two teams, evenly matched and showing for that here.
And I have to admit, like, I mean, nothing against Saint Drox, like, he's a great player, but at the same time, I don't think the old Reason team would really be able to take like a 60-minute game against Zinc, and they still could take this game as well. And this is only game one as well out of the best of 3 series.
Yeah.
So I have to admit, like, I think the addition of Pew is definitely helping just from the early thoughts as well. So.
Yeah, no, he's definitely done a pretty solid job here as far as his Parasite play. So in this one game example that at least we get to see here. So far, but Emma Boy is 8-0 when he's 550 gold per minute plus.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean there was that one stat too that what was it? It's like whenever a hero's like 500 plus GPM, they were like 68-1 or something like that. It's like somehow a team lost when a hero had that much farm. Yeah, I mean this could be one of those games. It could very likely be one of those games, as Moon Queen has been over 600 gold per minute this whole time. So. That would not be out of the question. But I do feel like, though, again, it just goes back to the Legion side. I mean, sure, Genjiro, great on Moon Queen, but the team around her, like, they're not going to get that much more advanced, are they? I mean, what are you going to do?
Nope.
Like, a Tundra is not going to get, like, a Savage Mace and be a huge threat. I mean, so.
And that's the almost awkwardness of the draft in a sense, because I think in their draft they expect, okay, we're going to have the early game advantage, or they're going to at least free up some space for Moon Queen in the early game because of the heroes they've got. They've got the Pharaoh, Tundra, and Parasite. A lot of early game aggression, and they did. I mean, they had the higher kills, and they still have the higher kills as well. So that obviously helped them in terms of the early game. But one thing that they didn't recognize is that they could easily get beaten in terms of the late game. They picked up the Moon Queen expecting to have the late game security, and Zinc, cleverly done by Flensmeister, said, okay, you can have the early game, but we're still going to beat you in terms of the late game, even though you've got a Moon Queen. And at the same time, there's nothing that Legion can really do in terms of forcing the issue that that Hellborn have got quite a strong late game. There's nothing they can do in terms of forcing because they don't have that pushing potential. Like if you saw this against like a game of Stay Green, they would easily have pushed it and won the game by like 20-25 minutes, even if they were like were against like a BMG with the same lineup. And yeah, I just think it goes back to a great drafting character from Flensmeister, noticing the weaknesses of the recent draft, and as a result, countering it.
Twitch.tv/Diglett_. He's actually doing a first person of the other series, so I don't think anyone might be casting right now, but he is actually doing a first person of that game 3 over there again. I'll just do a quick update there ourselves while we are still waiting for this one to resume. It looks like they're about 15 minutes in. It's a very even game so far, as you would expect. Oh, is that a push lineup? Oh, wow. The Last of Us, Balfagor, Demented Shaman. Got a Torture on top of that. Yes, that is a push lineup. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, I really want to finish off this one at the very latest because we do got quite the finish here in game 1 of this series. So hopefully that one lasts long enough and this one finishes up maybe sooner than later that we can jump into it. But we'll see. Can't make any promises, but yeah, again, the Restless Sun on Tempest, as far as his progression goes, he could definitely upgrade that Ring of Sorcery at this point. There's a Post-Haste on Tundra, and again, especially with both the Puzzle Box on top of the Shiver especially, the Post-Haste very powerful with that synergy right there. So another just of many reasons why it's just such a strong ability to have. But again, the game of sticking together and looking for picks continues here in game number 1 of this series. As Moon Queen now 5,000 gold saved up. So again, at that point, could probably get against Euro, but may need a little bit more gold to still feel comfortable. Probably needs at least 6,000 to feel really comfortable. In the meantime, they're going to jump on a Monkey Tundra, though he couldn't get the avalanche off. The reaction from Mickey was absurd. Protecting Melody, though, in the background. Finally going to be stopped as the shooter comes out. There's the Tempest Ultimate. Moon Queen going to be stopped. Parasite finally stops it. The second Tempest Ultimate, it will go off right there. Moon Queen is still alive. Not for long, though. He could not get the symbol or the Assassin Shroud off. The lockdown was just too much right there. And Parasite will fall as well. A hat trick coming out for Flensmeister. And finally, a fight that could ultimately determine where this game is at. I think Sync's looking pretty good now.
Definitely, and those reactions coming out from Mickey, oh my god,
Yeah.
This kid is insane. Like, he's like a robot, honestly, and insane that goes and dies there. But yeah, it's a great team fight, and as a result, this is what we were talking about. The Legions, they don't have the damage to cut through Hellborn's team, and as a result, the cause on Hellborn just a little bit too strong now, as it is, past the hour mark here.
Here we go.
In this game.
Buyback's happening. Is Pharaoh going to buy back? Yes, he is. He has the Wrath of the Pharaoh. Will they look for the jump? No, they're not going to get it. Sync will just fall back to the south. Look at this, though. Moon Queen's actually post-hasted in. She's going all out right here. Imboboy's like, screw it. We got to make something happen. Going to go for the big plays. They don't have TPs. That's why he's doing this. The defensive towers are the one at least made. Okay, no, he's going to fall back himself. He realizes, yeah, they're coming in. And I don't know if he's going to get the tower itself. So, a good chance. I mean, that was honestly a pretty heads-up play by Imboboy, knowing they didn't have TPs, but in the end, well, it does stop them from getting the melee racks, and they also put pressure now on the tower at the shrine, as that's got very low. So there is still hope. There definitely is still hope for Reason.
Okay, let's just try and talk about how Reason can still get in this game. I think it's quite clear that they do not have the team fight potential right now, but let's talk about what they do have. They have great game potential. They've got the Parasite, they've got the Tundra, they've got the Pharaoh. All these heroes great for ganking. So if there is a way to get back in this game, I think it's a pick-off and then push 4v5. And if not, it's through the split push with, say, like the Moon Queen and the Tundra, because I just don't think they have the potential now to take a team fight right up. However, if they take the Congo, that might change, something in terms of the team fight. But at the moment, a straight 5-on-5 team fight, we've seen it quite a few times before. They just do not have the damage to take a team fight against Sync and win it. So they need to find alternative ways in terms of winning. This can be through, ganking or even sort of split pushing, like we did with the post-tape Moon Queen before. So we'll have to see what sort of route that they try and take this game.
Another Savage Mace picked up by Swiftblade. Obviously, Moon King already having one, so they got a couple of those now to go through that evasion aspect of Moon Queen, as well as just insane damage on top of it. Yeah, the double Tempest Ultimate, as you would expect, very crucial in the last fight. I think it's somehow. Oh, there we go. Now he says, react to this, bitch. Monkey King going to be locked down. The Moon Finale. Monkey King barely alive. Will stay alive. Double damage, Moon King. No, she doesn't have a double damage, but she's doing plenty of damage. Monkey King going back in, though. The auto attacks from Moon King. Will it be now? The Similar Rage going to be used right there. Still alive. Not for long. The Sword Slash is going out. Protectability healing a little bit, but not enough. Maybe Moon Queen barely alive. Finally goes down. Swiftblade is low, though, but it's just Tundra. He's going to use Bananas. Parasite is here, but Moon Queen buys back. Oh, but they killed the Kuriel. Oh, no, he wasn't able to port. He tried. The Kuriel died, though, with the post-haste port. And so not going to get more kills out of this, most likely. Tempest will be fine as it gets away. Oh, that's so frustrating. Yeah, good heads up by Sync right there to make a play on that. Man, Monkey King living. I mean, that was a chance because Tempest also, his ultimate barely came up, and he only had the one at that time.
Yeah, I mean, he did use his final buyback, though, but so did, obviously, Imboboy and Pew now. So, as a result, I mean, if they can take down either one of these players, I mean, this could be the difference of who's going to take the game just through one pickoff. And I honestly think Legion have the better pickoff lineup. Like, they've got the Parasite, they've got the Tundra. If they can really sort of somehow coordinate a well-timed gank onto Mickey, this could be a 5v4, and they could win just through one pickoff. I mean, they did hold their own, actually, in that team fight, so maybe they still have the potential to take a team fight. I just don't think that is the strongest way of winning this game. They just find the alternative methods of winning this game. I mean, I know it's rare to sort of say that, oh yeah, you have to try and find a way of winning the game without taking a team fight, but I think that's the way or the strategy how they're going to need to take this into a game two with a 1-0 lead on Reason.
Yeah. By the way, not to overlook the stat that Quincy brought up last about go figure that one loss was like 66-1 with a hero that's 550 GPM or more. Well, guess who that one loss belonged to? Reason Gaming. with Imboboy playing it. So it's just kind of coincidence right there that could very possibly happen again. But again, it's at the same time, this is still a game that Reason Gaming is not going to be giving up, nor they should, with the way things are going on here. But here we go with the Kongor. Everyone is up with the Legion team now, including Rhapsody. She does not have Protected Melody, though. Moon Finale's not up. 2 big cooldowns. As I say that, double Tempest ultimate is good to go on the Hellborn side, so that is crucial. Is this... No, those are just fake Moon Queens here, but look at that. He's trying to be sneaky with them, trying to delay them if anything. Tundra jumps in on a Tempest right there. We got a fight kind of starting. Not the biggest engagement. Mooka was kind of just not sure what was going on, it looked like. She's going to take a Storm Spirit right there. Going to be fine for her now. She's trying to get away. She has a struck up by the Hellflower. Doing work in the meantime. Can she get anything off? Finally, not the Tempest ultimate to lock her down, and then she can do nothing following. That should be it for Sync. As, yes, the illusion does destroy the tower at the shrine. So, I mean, there's something there, but the end result is probably going to be Sync. You know, they're going to kill Kongor, and I guarantee you they're just going to clean up the middle and go for a push here. As, the tower barely stays alive.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. Look, the team fight for Hellborn is just too strong for Legion to try and win a straight-up team fight. They need to be sneaky. They need to try and find an alternative way of winning. I mean, the tower is down at the Sacrificial Stone. They can potentially do a backdoor potential with the Shiver and the Puzzle Box minions on Tundra. But at the same time, I mean, Mickey's already pushing down the middle racks. So
here we go, Tundra. Here we go. He's trying again. The tower is a matter of 1 auto attack away, so that should be an easy kill. Tempest doing his part, though, but yeah, you see the Hellborn team down here pushing top now. They got the middle. Tundra kills the tower, and now onto the shrine. We have a good old classic base race once again. Tundra is going to fall, though, and that probably is going to do it. 15 seconds. I mean, maybe not. You know, they're not going to concede because they have that backdoor chance, if anything. So there's a buyback on Tundra. Moon Queen's going to be up in 7 seconds. If you're Sync right now, you are keeping 1, if not 2 heroes, if not even more, in your base, ready to go. Because that shrine could fall pretty quickly with the Moon Queen and everyone else joining the party. There's a post-haste on Parasite as well. Oh, they're going in, actually! Tempest, oh, he got the ultimate! He gets it off! Finally going to be stopped by the face right there, but Tempest is going to fall. He does not have a buyback. This is a chance right here. Moon Queen with the illusions, pounding in the shrine. He doesn't care about anything else. He might need to, though. The Shrugganet is down. Yes, he will go down. Reason Gaming, they really are trying to make this an epic finish, but it just simply is going to be too much. A Doombringer now on Mickey, and that's when you know it's probably really over. In the end, I love it, though. They're trying so hard, and it's getting close, honestly. But
yeah,
probably not enough.
And this is the things they needed to do. I think they need to do it just a little bit earlier. I mean, they took probably 1 or 2 team fights they shouldn't have, and should have tried to go through this sort of strategy of playing. But I mean, I do love the idea. I mean, and it's still definitely not over. I mean, yeah, Moon Queen is down for 45 seconds. Can they push the shrine is the question. But I mean, if Legion sort of resorted to these tactics just a little bit earlier before they took the team fight, I mean, this could be a totally different game.
Look at Tundra. Here we go once again. Dr. Repulsor shrunken in. It's Feral and Tundra. Rhapsody, she's barely alive. They lock down Doctor, but here comes Swiftblade. And there's the invulnerability. Feral's like, he has 4 minor totems, as well as a post-haste and Abyssal Skull. That's not going to work. And in the meantime, the response, you got Monkey King pushing it in. I tell you what, they made Sync Esports really work for it in the end. But in the end, it will be Sync taking game number 1 here of this best of the 3 series.
That was just game number 1.
I know. Oh boy. Oh boy, what a crazy game that was. But as I say that, I want to jump right into the next game now, though. Because, again, that one's already been going on. So, but any final thoughts on that game before we start getting the next one here?
Great play coming out from Sync, and I think it goes back to the draft. But at the same time, I mean, I think Legion did have the right sort